What is going on, guys? I hope you have a fantastic day. Welcome back to another Hurt Healing Tales of Triumph episode. Today we are talking about self-care. Self-care is quite a big thing for me, massive thing for a lot of my clients, and self-care is tricky because self-care is different for each individual person. So it's a lot of experimentation. This series is a lot of experimentation, a lot of finding out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and then being able to put the correct tools and techniques in place in order for you to be able to thrive and for you to be able to understand what's going on in your everyday life. So, self-care. How can different self-care routines benefit you in different ways? Actually having dedicated self-care routines, either morning routines, nighttime routines, or different rituals you'll do throughout the day to ensure that your mental health is okay, you're in a homeostasis mode, you're not activated by fight or flight all the time, and to ensure that you are achieving your goals, whether it be muscle gain, weight loss, or simply just living a happier, healthier life without having to deal with massive anxieties or depression, different things like that. All, what for me, massively, all stem from the way that we set up our day. So the first 90 minutes of your day is the most important part of your day. And if you're able to, is the most important part of your day, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I do things probably different to how other people would do them because everybody's different. Everybody has a different self-care routine. There are scientifically backed things you should do in the morning. There are scientifically backed things you should do in the evening for a good night's sleep, to be well recovered and well rested. So there's a multitude of different things that you can do to ensure that you are as living the best life that you physically can in the way that you can, if that makes sense. So what do? How does it help me? My self-care routine. So my self-care routine is the first 90 minutes in the morning and the last 90 minutes in the evening. They're sort of that's what sets the tone for me during the day. Not every day is going to be the same because some days you wake up late, some days you wake up more tired than normal, some days you have got a little more to do than other days, and some days you're just not feeling good. And that happens. Every day is going to be a different struggle. Every day is going to bring its new challenges, and that is when you need to decide whether you're going to allow your motivation to dissipate and from what your overall task is, or if you're going to be disciplined to your tasks and the person that you want to be to ensure that you can continue to smash your goals and where you are going. So with that in mind, what I like to do, try to do every day for the first 90 minutes is stretch. Massive thing. Stretching is super, super important for me for the pain levels that I am sort of in with my training and the sort of goals that I want. I want to be nice and flexible, want to be nice and strong in those flexible positions, and having greater range of movement at the joints benefits my weightlifting. So stretching for anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes, pretty much as soon as I get up and out of bed. I try and get up and out of bed and on the floor. Now, I try and get up and out of bed and on the floor. So this makes me feel good. It wakes up everything internally. It wakes up all of my muscles. It wakes up all of my ligaments, my tendons, my joints, because I'm getting moving. All right, I'm getting the synovial fluid going inside my different joints. I'm allowing the muscles to be lengthened without any excessive amount of strain. I'm allowing myself to wake up nice and gently by going through a nice stretch routine. That's what I try to do for 15 to 30 minutes every single day. Preceding that, I like to do this with a little bit of music just to keep myself going, because I find that if first thing in the morning, I need some sort of stimulus because obviously I've been asleep. Usually what I used to do was just go straight for my phone, straight for TikTok and stuff. And that is a dopamine overload that early in the morning, which is bad. And then I'm chasing that all day long on social media. So I try and get up and get moving so that I'm chasing being moving for the rest of the day. So I get that hit of dopamine instead. So I do that with some music, just some nice flow of music, and get that going. If I need to do anything for my mental health, like I spoke about a couple of episodes ago, not every day do I do something in terms of journaling or meditation, only when I need to. And that's me listening to my body and understanding why, because sometimes I'll force it and then it doesn't work and then I just find like just completely pointless and I could have spent my time doing something else. So usually then I spend just for 5-10 minutes sort of doing some mindfulness stuff while being on the floor. I'll sit in a nice yoga position. I'll do some mindfulness. I'll just sort of sit with myself with my eyes closed, listening to music, just trying to be aware. And so if I don't need to do any journaling or any sort of inner critic work, I will use that time to plan out my day, go through the list of things that I need to do, that day. And so I can say, I'll do this now, I'll do that later, do this now. And it's all got to be timed around my training and my clients and my different work. So that's what I try and do in that realm. Now, after that, what I do is I try and get in a litre of water. Filtered water, full of magnesium and different minerals and stuff that comes through my water filter. So that's what I try and do. And then that, again, it primes my digestive system for the food that I'm going to intake. And then it's already got a litre of the 2 to 3 litres I should get in every day. I've got loads of electrolytes, loads of magnesium. I put some salt in there as well for different minerals. So then my brain is fully watered, ready to go. And then it just starts flushing everything out that I've eaten the night before. So that's what I first do. And then if it is not raining, I try and just go for a little walk of some description or go and sit in the garden and do something in the garden. If I can get out and stretch outside, awesome. Most of the time I can't because I live in England and it's really disgusting weather all the time. So if I can just even if I just walk to the shop to get something I need for the day and then walk back, that's fine with me, not a problem. So that's what I try and do most of the time. And then I try to delay my first meal. It depends what I'm doing during the day, but then I use the rest of that time to do meal prep. If I need to do any prepping for the day, if I need to do any cleaning on my motorbike, if I need to get anything prepared, if I need to pack a bag, there's loads of different things that I need to do. So I prepare myself for the day within that first hour and a half of me sort of getting up. So that way I'm up, I'm stretched, so I've gotten moving. I've got sometimes half the amount of water I need to get in during the day in one sitting. I have gone to the toilet, I've packed my bag, I'm ready to go when I need to go. Then I can do my meal prep and sit down and then do my work and do whatever I need to do during that day. At the end of the 90 minutes, or just before the end of the 90 minutes, usually around the 90-minute mark, I will then have my first meal. And that is me then fully set. So I'm food, watered, caffeinated, everything. Biggest thing, do not have any caffeine in the first 90 minutes of the day. Absolutely kills your natural energy receptors, and then you'll just be fighting for caffeine for the rest of your day. So try and have caffeine after the first 90 minutes, and then you're ready to smash the day. That is my 90-minute self-care routine to ensure that I am prepared and I feel as good as I physically can in any given day. Now, like I said, not every day is the same. There are days I struggle to do that because I have little motivation, I have little discipline, but I still do the things that I know I need to do. So even if I early or I have caffeine early or I do those different things, I still ensure that I am stretching, that I'm doing my mindfulness stuff. I'm still ensuring that if I need to do my journaling or any writing or any meditation, that I'm still doing those things, because that is the discipline from where I currently am to where I want to be. I need to do those things regardless of what happens. If I have caffeine a little bit early or if I eat a little bit early, not the end of the world. I'm not going to worry about it too much. There's no need to stress about these things. But if you're looking top tier influencer, creme de la creme, if you want to live a perfect life, that's it. Do that every day. So, like I say, it rains sometimes. You can't go outside. I haven't been outside today, for example, because it's been pissing it down with rain all day. And as much as I love going outside and going outside, feeling the air and stuff, I'm not going outside in the rain. I'm just not. I hate the rain so much. So that's just not happening. So that is what I advise. Do what you can on any given day. Don't stress about it if you don't do it. Just like I say, start making baby steps in the right direction, and eventually these things, all these little things that you're doing, will add up to the big success you'll have in years to come. So, nighttime routine. For me, nighttime routine's far more important than a morning routine, because nighttime is when you're going to unwind to go to bed. Now, sleeping is top level. Sleep deprivation is one of the worst forms of torture, because when you're sleep deprived, if you're sleep deprived enough, you can start hallucinating, you struggle to have energy levels, and if you struggle to have energy levels, and then obviously you feel more depressed and more anxious and all these different things because you're even more tired than normal, you then have even less motivation and less discipline to achieve your goals. So sleep is number one, top tier important. So supplementation I take for helping me sleep. I take magnesium oxide because it's brilliant. It helps me sleep so much, helps me keep in a deep sleep as well. I also take a mushroom gummy, which has got loads of different forms of mushrooms inside of it, again, to help me sleep, but also for cognitive brain function and all these different things. So that's what I take nighttime. Sometimes I take ashwagandha as well. Ashwagandha is really, really good, helps me sleep. but then it just depends on if I have it or not. I don't stress too much about it. But magnesium oxide or oxynate, I'll never not have that ever again in my entire life. That's something I take every single night before I go to sleep. Super important. The mushroom stuff's quite cool, makes me have some funky dreams, but other than that, I feel it doesn't really keep me in a sleep as much as I'm necessarily expected it to. So that supplementation, I take them literally before I'm about to go to bed. Other than that, I try to, for the last half an hour before I go to bed, not have any blue light. I like to just sit in a room I try to do it for an hour. I just sort of sit there with myself and my own thoughts. Sometimes that's the time, primarily the time I'll do lots of writing, because when I come down to sit down, due to ADHD and the amount, all the days I've been having and the work I've been during the day and all the thoughts collected throughout the day, when I come to sit down on my own at nighttime, that's when my thoughts just start running wild and running rampant. And that's when I need to then have a vent for those thoughts to allow me to calm down before I go to bed. So that's usually the time I'll sit down and do a load of writing, journaling. Planning for the next day is another big thing. I do it in the evening because that's when I feel like I'm not the most motivated, but I feel like I have the clearest head because there's so many ideas going on all at once. So I'll just sit there. I'll have a diary set up. I'll have my journal set up. I'll journal. I'll write down what I'm going to do the next day, and then I can plan it out. The planning your day the evening before, I find so good, so helpful, because you think about things you wouldn't normally think about when you wake up in the morning. So that's super, super important. I know scientific research says that you shouldn't have any blue light 2 hours before you go to bed. So no artificial light, basically. Blue light glasses is a big thing that's helped me in the past. I don't really need them at the moment, but I do have them. Blue light glasses are awesome. Whenever I go traveling, I take them with me just in case. Because usually I don't take my supplements with me when I go traveling, you see. So blue light glasses are something that, because if you've ever tried to take supplements abroad, like pills and powders and stuff, just don't do it. It's not worth it. I've done it. I've been held up at customs because they thought I had cocaine on me. It's awful. So just don't do that. So it's my evening stuff. I try and sit there for an hour and a half with myself and my thoughts, or with my partner. We just sit there and we talk in the dark. And that's, again, it helps us unwind a lot massively without any nighttime cups of tea. Obviously no caffeine after I say midday, but usually it's the 3 o'clock for me because I don't go to bed till 10, 11 o'clock at night. So 3 o'clock, a good 5 hours for the caffeine to get out of my system. So and that's tea as well. So no tea, no coffee, nothing like that. No massive amounts of sugar at evening as well. That's something else. A little bit like yesterday, my mother-in-law made some bought some crumble. She usually makes crumble. She didn't make crumble. I was very upset. She bought crumble and we had a little bit of crumble and ice cream, but that was at 11 o'clock in the evening. So then that's something that I've learned from my binging and purging cycles, is that the more super highly palatable, highly carbohydrate, ultra processed foods I have later in the evening, the more I can't sleep because my body can't digest it. So try to eat quite small amounts in the evening so that I've got quite little to digest so I can sleep the easiest. That's super important for me because doing it the other way around usually doesn't work. When I used to eat quite a lot in the evening, when I used to eat quite a lot in the evenings, I'd be smoking quite a lot of weed. So obviously I'd smoke weed and I'd just pass out. It's not sleeping particularly, not in comparison to this kind of sleep that I get now. It's insane. So that's super, super important. So self-care is going to be different for everybody. Each individual person is going to have their own self-care routine. I have one of my clients, Molly. She's absolutely phenomenal. She's very similar to me in terms of her stretching and stuff she does in the morning. She struggles with food a lot, so I try and advise her to eat something pretty much as soon as she wakes up, because then she'll go most of the day without even eating anything. And then at nighttime as well, sits down, try to have something to eat. And then before, again, more stretching and doing more stuff like that. So that's super, super good. Again, each individual person is going to have their own routine, their own thing that they're going to do in different ways. So that's, again, it's about experimenting, finding out what works for you. Copy my routine if you want to. My routine works for a lot of people that I advise to do. Write everything down. Try experimenting with different things in the evening versus nighttime. See what works, see what doesn't work. Biggest thing for sleep I can advise is the blue light. That is a killer. As soon as the daylight dims, you should be dimming your lights and we should wake up and rise. In the perfect world, I know it's not perfect. In a perfect world, we should be going to sleep and waking up with the sun. Now, I know that's not possible for a lot of people, but generally that's what we should be doing. And so if you are adjusted to working at nighttime and being awake at nighttime, then you're going to find it really bloody hard to sleep. So I do highly advise that you take the time to try and have no more blue light at least an hour before you go to bed. Don't sit in a lounge watching telly an hour before you're about to go to bed. Go and sit in your own thoughts, have a think about what you need to do tomorrow, do some writing, do some journaling, have some very small amounts of light, or wear blue light glasses, massive thing. Magnesium oxynate, because most of us deal with headaches. The last study I looked at, 98% of headaches are caused by a salt deficiency, because your muscle is a brain, headache is a cramp, just like you have any other cramp anywhere else in your body. So make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure you're getting your magnesium in. Make sure you're giving your brain and your body enough sodium and enough water to be able to not cramp and not have these spasms and stuff. Make sure that you're tired enough for the evening as well. That's something that a lot of people don't quite realize, is how tired you need to be to sleep. Like, if your body doesn't need to repair itself, then it's not going to sleep, because that's essentially what sleep is for, is to repair from the damage you've done the day before. So if you've not caused your body any damage, then you don't need to sleep, if that makes sense. Still be tired and stuff, but that's why people have chronic fatigue issues. A lot of the studies that I've looked at, that's why people have chronic fatigue issues, is because they don't do anything during the daytime, right? And that's why they then have issues at nighttime. And they can't sleep because they've not done enough. And you might think you do a lot, but actually, are you doing the right things? Are you causing yourself actually enough stress to be able, you're putting your body and your mind under enough stress to be able to need to warrant the sleep? And actual physical stress or mental stress, not just, oh, I'm stressed out, but like actual genuine stress. And there is a difference. So that's something to look at for sure. Are you doing enough in the day to warrant you going to sleep at night? Are you going to the gym? Are you doing your mindfulness stuff? Are you doing your meditation? Are you doing your journaling? Are you doing your inner work? Are you doing your stretching or your mobility or your yoga or your Pilates? Whatever it is, something that you need to be doing in order to be able to sleep in the way that you need to sleep. Get good quality, proper sleep. You need to be working hard, training hard, for sure. So all the bases covered. Your self-care routine is going to be different. That's my self-care routine. It's helped me amazingly. I've only really been nailing my self-care routine for the past 6 months, and I've been thriving the past 6 months more than I've ever done before. I've had more clients through the door. My quality of work has gone up. Quality of sleep has gone up. My quality of training has gone up. It's been insane. The more I prioritize my 90 minutes in the morning and the 90 minutes before I go to bed, the better my quality of life is. And that is simply a fact. So super important. Give these different things a try. See what works, see what doesn't work. And please comment your self-care routines below. Share amongst other people so that we can all take and try different things from what works and what doesn't work. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with somebody you think needs the support. And I will see you guys in the next one.